Good morning, good evening, regardless of where you are, as well as a great time to study the gospel, enlightened by Spiritism. Today, we're going to be discussing chapter 52 of the book Our Daily Bread, which is titled Subtle Dangers, and it's based on Paul, the first letter to Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 7. Before we begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Deck Radio for opening up its platform, which is available in several different social media, so that we can have conversations just like this one. Kardec Radio, again, is available in different platforms and it's even available in the X platform as well. And the good thing about the X platform is that you can send your comments and questions to Kardec Radio and you will receive a response from their staff. Before we begin, let's connect with our spiritual benefactors, with spiritual friends. Thank this opportunity that all the opportunities that life presents to us to study and learn new things and to progress. May we know the value of each moment for our betterment, and might we identify every single opportunity that's presented to us to also help the enrichment, morally speaking, of others. May God's peace be with us. So be it. Thank you. Again, this is chapter 52 of the book Our Daily Bread, Subtle Dangers. And it's based again in the first letter to the Corinthians that Paul sent to them in its chapter 10, verse 7. And the passage is very short. It simply reads, "Do not be idolaters." This is this passage has a very interesting context because Paul was preaching to individuals who at some point had been pagan and who now had been converted to Christianity. So a lot of the pagans, they still were attached to idols and idolatry. So Paul was reminding them, hey, that's the old way of doing things. You have to move on away from idols. Emmanuel has a very interesting explanation about it because he indicates here the recommendations given by Paul to the Corinthians should be remembered and applied at any time in the services of the religious ascension of the world. So again, first thing, Emmanuel is reminding us that, okay, that was a message that was directed to a particular group way back then, but it still applies today for all of those who are trying to be connected with God, and especially all of those that are trying to do services to help others, help the world ascend as well. So the world ascend morally. Emmanuel continues here indicating that it is indispensable to avoid idolatry in all circumstances. Its manifestations always presented serious dangers to the spiritual life. So again, on this second statement here, Emmanuel is reminding us, okay, first of all, in the first statement, he reminded us that that message from Paul is still current. And on the second one, he reinforces it. And he not only indicates that it is indispensable, so he indicates, okay, it's indispensable to avoid idolatry, but not only that, it's a serious dangers, it presents serious dangers to our spiritual life. And why is that? So he further clarifies here that the ancient beliefs are still replete with exterior cults and dead idols. So that's the way people used to believe in the past. And when we talk about the past, not only at Christ's time, but way before Christ's time. And we see those beliefs of these exterior cults. So the cult to the exterior manifestations, exterior rituals, and that idols as well. So idols that are not alive, idols made of stone. He continues indicating that the Consoler who was sent to the world in the venerable Spiritist mission will watch out for the poisonous this poisonous process which paralyzes the soul. So these old way of idealizing, of having these beliefs and this adoration, this worship for what's exterior, and also for idols that are dead, meaning idols that don't do anything. So it is a poisonous process. And poisonous meaning that it stagnates, it paralyzes. Poisonous process which paralyzes the soul. Because again, if you are so connected to the exterior form, and also if you're also so attached to external idols, then what happens to your inside? You are so focused on the exterior and appearances, and then you're at risk of forgetting what really matters, which is your inner transformation. He continues indicating that here and there, signs of worship surge that are important to combat. So we see here that now, so he's indicating to us that it still happens, and here and there. So it's common, right? No further use of idols in the human circles or physical instruments, supposedly sanctified for use in conventional ceremonies. So he further clarifies here that, okay, so even though people might not use those physical and material rituals or physical idols made of stone or made of marble, made of iron, made of metal, or any kind of physical material, so that's physical manifestation, physical representation of deity. So you don't need that anymore, but rather friendly entities and incarnate mediums that unconscious individuals inadvertently introduced into the frail altar of the fanciful honors. So now Emmanuel expands this concept, indicating that, okay, so not you're gonna be you might idolize, but not necessarily material statues, not necessarily having rituals, but you can also idolize someone. In this case here, a medium, and we see that quite commonly, and in spiritism, we see that circumstances in which mediums are idolized, they are adored, they're worshipped, they're put in an altar, as Emmanuel indicates here, because people have this fascination, and that is common with mediums, because again, mediums being the intermediaries between the spiritual world and the material world, they do draw a lot of attention, a lot of fascination. So there is this risk for those involved in mediumship to be idolized by those that surround them. And the real danger here is that we know that mediums are not necessarily perfect spirits. Mediums are individuals, spirits like us, who are struggling to evolve as well. Mediumship was provided to them as an additional tool for progress, and in many, many cases, as an additional tool for expiation and development. So that's why we see here the risk for us to introduce those individuals into the frail altar, worshiping those individuals with fanciful honors. In many cases here that it is necessary to recognize that there lies a subtle danger through which innumerable workers have slid into the cliffs of uselessness. So this is subtle because again, we're not talking about a physical statue sitting out there and to be worshipped and draw attention. No, you have this idolization for someone. And again, I gave the example of mediums, but I can idolize anyone. But the risk with idolizing all the individuals, again, is that they're spirits like myself who are also full of imperfections and who are actually in the process of their moral growth as well. So, why should I idolize someone? I should, on the contrary, should look inside my soul and identify those aspects that I need to improve and connect with God, connect with the Creator, and and have Jesus as my guide, as Jesus is my guide and example. that I need to follow. So that's basically what I have to do. I should not be attached as someone. Now, if we see a dedicated worker and in the many activities of spiritism, it is quite honorable. But again, we can admire those individuals, but never worshiping, never putting anything, anybody into an altar. Again, with the danger for us to fall into uselessness, as is indicated here by Emmanuel. And also, why should we provide an opportunity for a brother or sister of ours to fall into their pride by offering them excessive admiration? Emmanuel continues in indicating that inopportune praise customarily perverts the dedicated but inexperienced mediums, in addition to creating an environment of misunderstanding, which impedes the immediate interjection of the true friends of righteousness from the spiritual plane. And again, so this excessive praise, it perverts, it distorts. There's a risk of distorting the dedicated individuals. In this case, uh, Emmanuel indicates mediums, but again, you pervert a dedicated medium, a medium who's hardworking but who is inexperienced. We're all inexperienced. We're all still learning and progressing. So there is a risk that we can create this environment of misunderstanding. Because why misunderstanding? Because again, I have to realize that that individual is a spirit who's trying to progress just as myself as well. And if I exacerbate the pride of that medium, and again, the term here medium, but I dare say that that expands to anyone, anyone in spiritism, anyone that is a medium, could be a lecturer, could be a laborer, a volunteer, a leader. So it doesn't matter. We should avoid this inopportune praise, like Emmanuel indicates here, because otherwise we might be fostering an environment of misunderstanding. We might be insufflating the pride of that individual and creating opportunity, another opportunity for that individual to fall. Emmanuel continues indicating that no one should overlook the relatively imperfect spiritual condition that, as yet, is held by the disincarnates that communicate, and of the immediate necessities of life needed by the human mediums. So again, now Emmanuel brings another side also, which are the spirits that are going to communicate to that medium. Now, again, a lot of mediums, they bring beautiful messages by some beautiful spirits, but those spirits are not perfect yet. So there's the risk for us again to idolize them and idolize these spirits as well, and fall into and exposing them or fostering a circumstances for those individuals to feel way too proud, and that way compromising the missions or the assistance that those spirits are trying to give to us. And not only that, if the medium is so full, so starts to feel so full of himself or herself, being also having this feeling of excessive pride, then those spirits that are trying to evolve a little bit and get a little bit better, they're going to have a hard time communicating with the medium. And the kinds of spirits that are not going to be communicating are the spirits that are also full of pride, and which are going to be in tune with that kind of environment. Emmanuel finalizes here indicating that let us struggle to combat the false idols that menace Christian spiritism. Let each disciple utilize the ample resources of the law of cooperation, using his own personal efforts with sincere devotion to the task. And let all of us remember that in the apostleship of the divine master, love and fidelity to the Almighty, um, God will constitute the central theme. So again, so let's have this. Let's avoid these false idols. And again, starting with ourselves, not trying to stay away from idolatry, trying to stay away from excessively admiring other human beings, both incarnate and disincarnate. On the contrary, let's use our resources for cooperation with one another. Nobody's perfect, but my the little that I know and I can do, combined with the little that my brothers and sisters can do, it starts to build up. And as we combine all of our resources, all of our knowledge, all of our beatitudes, then we are able to do something so much bigger. Again, if we have um, this devotion to the task. And again, as we grow and learning with the divine master, we should have love and fidelity to the Almighty God, to God, and that should be our focus. And forgot to turn off my phone. Just a second. Sorry about that. We live in a world of technology, a world of communication, and people can get a hold of us at any time, as long as we're connected to the network, as long as we're connected. And I apologize for that distraction. I apologize for that distraction. It was a distraction of the. I hope it was not a distraction of the harmony. At any rate, so that is our conversation for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And again, I want to thank Cardiac Radio again for offering to all of us opportunities to have conversations just as this one here. Cardiac Radio also have their own app that you can download from your favorite app store. And in the Cardiac Radio app, you're gonna have access to conversations just like this one, discussions just like this one. However, they are in a podcast like format. So check it out. So at this moment, let's close our eyes again in prayer and thank the Lord for all the enlightenment that we receive. Thank the Lord for all of our brothers and sisters that are with us. None of us is perfect, but we can all work together. None of us is knows everything, but the limited knowledge all of us combined can reach so much further. God protect us, guide us, inspire us in our decisions, and give us strength so that we can follow the path of righteousness. So be it.